How's it going? Charles Botenston. Today we're going to be talking about something that, and the reason that I do these videos, it's really late at night. I was just listening to this video right before I'm going to bed, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is super powerful. It's literally how to get anything, and it's something that I'm going to do immediately. It just makes complete sense. Over all these years, you hear all these different tidbits, and then you start asking all these questions, and then you say, oh, that's it. You're like, that is a revelation. And I know I'm going to have a revelation on top of this, but hear me out on this, okay? And I know some people are going to dislike this video because they're like, you didn't tell me the exact answer that I wanted to hear. But listen to this. I've been thinking about this for quite some time. So the guy in the video is talking about who you need to be. And I think it's called the study of being, B-E-I-N-G, being, like who you're being. The study being, I think, is called ontology. And essentially, you hear it all the time. It's like, you need to believe, and then you'll become it. You need to believe that you're happy, and then you'll be happy. You have to believe you're wealthy, and then you'll be wealthy. And you keep on hearing that. It's like the law of attraction, and just saying yes, and things like that. And it's like, yeah, you're like, yeah, no, I kind of... But there's a certain truth to it. And then today, it made sense. The reason and the problem with what these people about the law of attraction or just believing and then you'll understand it and then it'll come into your life and then blah, 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 is they don't explain why, okay? And I'm not saying that I've figured it out, but I just pieced together a couple things. In other words, so what they say, there's two ways of thinking, is that when I see it, then I'll believe it, all right? When I go like this, I'm like, oh, okay, I saw that drop. I believe in gravity. And then the other way of thinking is that I believe it and then I see it. And that's with anything. It's building a building. It's Steve Jobs and building the iPhone. It's like Steve Jobs wasn't like, okay, let me see the iPhone and then I'll believe that it's possible. He's like, no. I believe it's possible. I know it's possible. Prove me right. That's the difference, okay? So when you have the mentality of once I see it, then I'll believe it, that is such a scarce mindset. That's a non-creative mindset at all, and it really bothers me. All right, and I just got into a tangent. I'm going to continue with that tangent because if you think about it, you have to see it and then you believe it. That is the opposite of creation. That's the opposite of creativity. You know, when people are like, I'm going to build this building, they have the vision of what it's going to look like, and then they build it. So they believe this is what it's going to look like, and then they build it, and then they're like, oh, okay. And then they see it. That's the difference. You have to believe you are something or that you're able to do something, and it will manifest in real life. That's the basis of law of attraction, okay? So believe it or not, you know, I love how I'm using all these words, but believe it or not, it's true. It's like I had a vision that I'm going to live in a certain apartment in New York City by myself by a certain date, and I I had such a desire to do that. I didn't have the money, and then I started living there, and then I'm like, okay, cool, what's next? Then I'm like, I want a bigger apartment where I can entertain people. I don't know how I'm going to afford it. And then I move into this place. I've been here for 2 years. I was thinking, how am I going to be able to afford this? And then you make it happen. I didn't see the apartment and then be like, okay, I see the apartment. I see where the money is. I know where it's going to come from. And now I believe it. It's like, no. I believe I'm going to make it happen. And then you make it happen. This is also true of the opposite, which is if you're negative, if you think that people are out to get you, if you feel that you're unhealthy or you're big boned or you're not smart, then you will not be smart because you believe it to be true. So yes, this works in the positive. This also works in the negative. So if you think, God, I'm in debt, I'm bankrupt, I'm overweight, I don't have a good relationship, I drink too much, then you will be that person. All right? So going back to being and the point of this video, this is a really powerful video, like what I'm thinking right now. All right? So this is why it works. All right? Get ready. And this is going to get really deep, so just stick with me, is that you have to be a certain person. I have to just embody being rich, body being healthy and energetic, or an athlete, or a big movie producer, whatever you want to be, smart. You know, you have to be that person even though you're not yet. You have to be that person. You have to act that way. And then it will come into your life. And the reason being, ironically enough, the reason being is that you believe it to the core. So you will start doing the actions. You'll start becoming the person. You'll start talking and walking and waking up and having the actions of this person, even though it's not in your life yet. So say money is not in your life yet. Perfect example, this apartment. Money for me to afford this apartment, it's a duplex with an outdoor space in New York City, downtown, awesome area on the west side. I didn't have the money at the time, but I just believed and I started acting, this is my apartment right now. And I didn't consciously know I consciously knew I was doing it. But guess what? I started waking up earlier. I started making phone calls. I started closing deals. I started negotiating better. All right? It's the same thing when someone says, I'm an athlete. They will start eating better, working out harder, being competitive, doing the things of an athlete because they believe that. And this is the reason. Because when you become wealthy or you get the apartment or you get the body or you get the relationship or the kids or the house or whatever you want, you graduate from college, whatever, you get the dream job, you start a business, whatever, is that validation is something that you already believed. So in other words, hear me out, this is going to get really deep, is that people that need to see it, they need to see the validation. So in other words, they'll say, I need to know that if I go to the gym and I eat correctly, that I'll have this body. They need that validation already. They need that body validation, or they need that money validation. Perfect example, I had a guy that used to work for me. And I said, listen, if you do these series of events, you will get business. If you make phone calls and you get to work on time and you will have money. He needed to see it for him to believe it. He needed the validation. He needed to see me bringing him the validation. In other words, like he needed the external outcomes to happen. Like it's like someone saying, this is exactly an example, is that they need to say, if I go to the gym and I eat this way, just give me the body that I'm going to have if I go to the gym every single day and I eat correctly. Just give me the body now and then I'll believe it. It's like they need the validation. So in other words, going back to believing it, this is really hard and complicated, and I hope I didn't lose you. But if you believe it and you feel it, you already have the validation of being wealthy because you're like, I'm already wealthy. I'm already smart. I'm already happy and enthusiastic, and my business is thriving. I already have that. And then when it comes into your life, that body, that money, that relationship, that house, whatever, that job, you're like, yeah, no. Perfect example is someone that gives a speech at the Oscars and they're like, since 9 or 10 years old, I've been believing and I knew this moment would come, and I want to thank my family for believing me. And I was a little girl or a little boy, and I just tried my hardest because I knew I'd be standing on the stage with this Oscar and I really want. They believed it. It's like the other way of thinking is them on stage telling their younger self, this is going to happen. I promise it. I promise you, if you do these series of events, all these failures and all these successes, I promise this will happen. No. They believed it, and that's why it became a fact. Because they already lived it. They were being it. So who do you have to be to become who you want? In other words, if you want to lose weight, you have to say to yourself, I'm healthy, I'm enthusiastic, I'm energetic, I go to the gym, I'm an athlete, I'm a runner, I'm a cyclist. I eat healthy, that's who I am. People that don't drink anymore, my buddy doesn't drink anymore, he says, I don't drink anymore. That's who he is. That's who he's being, B-E-I-N-G. So it's all about who you're being to get the outcomes that you want. People think that they'll get the outcomes and then they'll become it. It's like, no. Like, how can you get the outcome of being a millionaire without actually being a millionaire? It's like you have to do the actions of making the phone calls and going through everything to become the millionaire. All right? If you want to attract someone into your life, you have to know who that person is so you can be someone to attract them into their life. Perfect example is, the Steve Harvey show. I don't know if I already told you this example. These two women were single. They're looking for a man. And Steve Harvey said, okay, write down what you're looking for, blah, blah, blah. And they wrote down like 50, 60 items that they wanted in a man. And then Steve Harvey said, oh, that's interesting. On both of these lists, you write that you want a millionaire. And then Steve Harvey continues and he says, does a millionaire want you? Does a millionaire want you? I understand you. This is what you want, but does a millionaire want you? I understand you really want a good body, and this is something that I say to you, is that and it's something that I need to work on as well, is that I understand that you want to be smart and enthusiastic and fun and have this good group of friends and everything else, but does that good group of friends want to surround themselves around you? Are you being the person they want to surround themselves with? So you have to be that fun, that energetic, that enthusiastic, that smart, that go-getter, that courageous person. You have to be that now. Because when that failure, when that opportunity comes, you already need to believe that you're worthy of that. And then you'll get it. And that's the difference between the law of attraction. They don't actually explain why. And the reason being is that when that opportunity comes, when that money starts coming into your life, you're like, oh yeah, no, of course. It's like you took the necessary actions. That's the biggest thing the law of attraction is missing, is taking the necessary actions. So to become who you want, you have to be that right now. And you have to believe it. Because a lot of people, they'll have one little conflict in their life. They're like, well, I want a great body, but I'm big boned. That's a conflict of interest. Well, I want to be a millionaire, but I don't like the 1%. That's a conflict of interest, okay? That one conflict of interest will wipe out the entire thinking of being wealthy, all right? So, a little deep. I just did a podcast about this, which the link is below. I guess I'll do a little bit more videos on it. This is very basic, and ask me questions about it because I'm going to think about it more, but it was just so intriguing when I heard it that I'm like, you have to be the person that you want to become now, not when you become it. You have to say you're an athlete in the NFL now and start acting that way, not when you become an athlete in the NFL. All right? So, hope this helps. Subscribe to the video. Let me know if you have any questions. And I upgraded. I know I'm like probably on a tilt right now, but I upgraded. I got this little iPhone stand. $10 iPhone stand on Amazon. Anyway, subscribe to the videos. All the links socially are below. I'm crushing Snapchat. Follow me there. And let me know if you have any questions on this because that's how this channel evolves. Have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.